Hey guys, I'm Derek from Vico Marine, and today I'm going to show you our boat cover support system. This is our proprietary system that we've created and perfected over decades in the marine industry, and is manufactured right here in Wisconsin. This system will ensure that you spend more time out on the water and less time messing with your cover. So let's dive right into it and let's look at each product and what their benefits are. So the first product in the system is the Boatvent. What the Boatvent does is it actually vents the interior of the cover, so it prevents any of that hot air or moisture from sitting under there, which can eventually cause mold and mildew growth. So by doing that, you're not only protecting your upholstery, but you're also making it easier for the next time you want to go out. It's all ready to go. You don't have to vent it out and let all that hot air escape. And also, what's so great about this guy is it actually tents it. So you'll see here, when your cover is taut, it actually gives you the perfect slope to make sure that you don't have any pooling, which can cause irreversible damage on your cover. And then specifically with the new Boatvent 3, this guy is great because you no longer have to sew in a reinforcement piece, so it saves you a ton of time on installation. So how this actually installs in your cover is you'll notice when you open it up, it has these great teeth. So it actually bites into the canvas, and you'll see this tongue and groove as well. So that makes sure there's a nice wave in there. So there's a ton of resistance, and what those teeth do is it makes sure that it gets a nice hold on the canvas. You don't have to worry about that ever coming loose or tearing open. So the cam lock collar is this really easy switch system. So you'll see when you unlatch that, smooth and easy. As soon as you clamp it down, that baby will hold 170 pounds of downward pressure. The aluminum is sandblasted and anodized to make sure you don't have to worry about any rust or corrosion if you're on any kind of salt water. And this guy is made out of die-cast aluminum and has 3/16 stainless components. So just like the aluminum, you don't have to worry about this guy damaging or rusting over time if you're in any kind of saltwater environment. And lastly, we got the swivel pole base. Now this guy is awesome. What it does is it actually allows the pole to stand up on its own, but also you'll see here it's got a wing nut. So what this actually does is it allows it to move with the cover as you're installing it, but it also gives you the opportunity to move around obstacles like a center console, or if you have some kind of wake tower that you have to have it at an angle, you can get it in the correct position and then actually tighten that wing nut down, and then you'll see here it'll stay in exactly that position. And one of the best features of this base is it's actually made out of a TPE rubber, which basically just means that you don't have to worry about it marring or leaving any kind of marks on your flooring. And because it's got this wider surface area, it's great for some of the softer floorings you're seeing now, like those vinyls and SeaDeck and even the plusher carpets, because with crutch tips, they'll leave those little rings in it, and this will leave no marks. So much so that you can actually even use it on the upholstery if that's where you need to put your mooring pole. All right, so what you're gonna wanna do now is find the highest points of the cover, meaning where your mooring poles are gonna rest underneath the cover. You're gonna wanna simply go and draw an X where that pole is resting, because that's gonna be where you're gonna install your boat vent. Because all that heat and moisture under here is gonna rise up to the peaks, so that's exactly where you wanna place those boat vents to make sure that it can escape out. So now that we've marked our cover where the boat vent's gonna go, what we wanna do now is actually cut out the circle. What we can do is we have two options to actually cut the circle. What we have here is the circle cutter, which cuts an exact hole for either the Boatvent 2 or the Boatvent 3. So for a Boatvent 3, it's a 2 3/4. For a Boatvent 2, it's 2 1/4. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna take the plexiglass sheet that we send with every circle cutter and stick that underneath where you're gonna be cutting the hole to protect whatever surface you're cutting on. You're gonna line the circle cutter up so it's right in the center of your X, and then you just wanna press and do a clockwise rotation once over, maybe twice if you're not sure if you got it all. Take our piece of canvas off. We're ready to install our boat vent. So your other option is to cut it out with scissors. So to do this, we make it really easy for you, and we send you a template. It gives you 9 steps to lay it out. And then what we also have done is we send you a template that you can cut out yourself to put on your actual canvas to make sure you stencil the perfect circle for your boat vent. We've already cut one out here. So we're just going to place that right in the center of our X. I'm going to take my white marker here and just trace around that circle. So now that we got our circle drawn onto the canvas, what you're going to want to do is actually pinch the center and make a nice size slit for yourself, and this is how you're going to get your cut started. So now that we got our hole, what we're going to want to do is take the hood of the Boatvent. Since we used a Boatvent 3 here, it's a 2 3/4 hole, and you're going to want to put the hood facing on the top of the canvas. What you're going to do is make sure the canvas is off the threads and well seated into the Boatvent. So then once you're confident you're good to go, you grab the washer with the spikes. And this guy is what's actually be doing the gripping. So you're going to want to make sure that lines up with the lock and just press that into the boat cover. And then hold it down with your hand. Get the bottom washer, which you'll actually see here on the washer. It says bottom. That's the face that's going to be facing out of the Boatvent. So that's what you're actually going to see looking underneath the cover. And then you're just going to want to screw that on and get it really tight. You want to make sure those teeth are puncturing the canvas and are getting a really strong hold on the vent. All right, so now that we've flipped it over, you can see here the Boatvent 3 installed in the canvas. And what you're gonna wanna check is just see that there's a nice wave in between the washers. And what that means is that the canvas has actually been pushed up into the tongue and groove, which we've specifically designed to make sure you get maximum hold with the Boatvent. And even just for a little bit of insurance, you can actually tug on it and see that that canvas isn't going anywhere. So this guy's ready to get back on the boat. So now with the mooring poles, we're going to draw a line at the desired height for optimal tenting on the cover. So we're going to do each one to make sure that it's easier later to know which pole goes where. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do to make it easier on yourself when you get your cover is actually mark the front of it, either with front or bow, and then we always put an arrow too to make it really easy on ourselves. Because a lot of times you just end up throwing that thing on the pier, and then that way when you take it out, you know exactly where you have to start. So we're gonna take that front pole that we actually already marked earlier, stick it right up here in the front, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the Boatvent 3 that we installed earlier and actually stick that guy right on the pole. And as you'll see here is the pole base will actually keep it standing upright. So you no longer have to keep getting in and out of your boat as you're installing this. And what's great about the washer system as well is as you're tugging on it, it'll actually move with the cover. So it'll be nice and easy and you don't have to worry about that thing constantly falling over. All right guys, so that covers it. By combining the boat vents with the camlock support poles and the swivel pole bases, you ensure that your boat cover is vented, tented in no time at all.